So this morning, Donald Trump, of course, wants to be respectful of 9/11, so he sends a tweet complaining about collusion. All right, fine. So usual rants. We found nothing to show collusion between President Trump and Russia. Absolutely zero. Same kind of mental tweets you see on any other day. Now, this is the one day where you really hope that the president can pull it together and tell us about how he cares about the people we lost on 9/11 and the troops that went to go avenge them, and etc. The typical stuff that presidents do is sometimes they go over the top, etc. But Trump doesn't have any of those issues. He just doesn't.
He's a sociopath.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
So now to the point about a sociopath. Okay, so he starts the day with me. I'm not guilty. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not guilty, right? All right, that's the usual. Then the second tweet is about 9/11. He retweeted a post by White House aide Dan Scavino bragging about how Trump had signed a proclamation designating today as Patriot Day. So it's about 9/11, but it's about him bragging, well, I made it Patriot Day. I made it Patriot Day. Okay, all right, we go to tweet number 3. Okay, it's about 9/11, but wait till you see what it is. Rudy Giuliani did a great job as mayor of New York City during the period of September 11th. His leadership, bravery, and skill must never be forgotten. Rudy is a true warrior. Rudy Giuliani, of course, is his personal lawyer now, defending him on the issue of collusion. So without yet mentioning the lives that were lost, talking about how Rudy was this incredible hero and not that the attacks must not be forgotten, not that the people we lost, our citizens, must not be forgotten, but how awesome Rudy Giuliani, my personal lawyer, must not be forgotten. Unbearable, unbearable. And by the way, okay, and some people get mad, so prepare. Conservatives, find your safe space because you're about to get triggered. Rudy Giuliani gets ridiculous credit for 9/11 when he didn't do anything. He showed up at the scene of a crime. Congratulations. So, the only actual tangible thing he did was he put the communication center in case of emergencies inside the World Trade Center, which blew up. Now, the World Trade Center had already been attacked. Why would you put the communication center for emergencies in the one place in New York that had already been attacked? That's because if you're stupid, that's what you do. And then he shows up in front of all the cameras, he's like, I'm in charge, I'm in charge. Well, meanwhile, firefighters and cops died in those buildings because they couldn't communicate. But I'm supposed to now turn around and give Rudy Giuliani credit because he's Trump's lawyer, and all he ever does, he's so gross. You remember that line from Biden in the elections where Rudy Giuliani was running for president, got humiliated, of course, run out of town, came in 5th in Florida, was the only place he can be. He was the worst, right? But every debate, Giuliani would go out there and, as Biden said, say 9/11. Why? Because, me, 9/11. I happened to be in New York when 9/11 happened. You're gross, Giuliani. You two deserve each other. So that's what Trump did today. I'm not even done. One last thing. He goes to Pennsylvania to remember the heroes of United 93, and those guys were unbelievable. They didn't risk their lives. They knew they were going to lose their lives, but to make sure that the plane did not get to its target. So Trump gets there and he lands and he sees that there are some people, I think, that were applauding him. So he's like, oh yes. Forgets that, hey, I'm here for a solemn occasion, and starts doing this like, it's not a goddamn campaign rally, but he's a sociopath. He can't help himself. Now, if you thought all that was bad, wait till you get a load of what he said on the day of 9/11. So he's on New York radio, and Anna, did he talk about the lives lost?
No, of course not.
Did he say, it's that day, man? Do you remember how, I remember that day. Any of you who are old enough, you remember that day and how we were all shaken. I had friends who lived in New York. One of my co-founders here was covered in the debris from the building, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, is he alive? Is he okay? And all the people that I know, I got family and friends. There's one guy on 9/11 who wasn't thinking that. He was thinking something else.
Yeah, so he called into WWOR in New York, and this is on the evening of 9/11. And he thought that it was a perfect opportunity to brag about how one of his buildings was now the tallest building in New York. I'm going to read you his exact quote. He said, well, it was an amazing phone call. I mean, 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan. And it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became the second tallest. And now it's the tallest. That was what he said on the evening of 9/11, 2001.
Not on the anniversary of 2001, on the actual day of September 11th, 2001.
Yep.
He called into a radio station to brag that he now had the tallest building in New York. He said, well, it used to be second tallest because of World Trade Center, but now that got knocked down. So now my building's the tallest. What sociopath thinks that way? Thinks, hey, this is a moment for me to brag. Hey, those big buildings got knocked down with nearly 3,000 people dead, but hey, on the upside, my building's the tallest now. This is the guy that you revere if you're a Republican? Oh God, that's so sad. And okay, then we go to 2002. By then, he's taken a whole year. Has he found out, hey, maybe people were upset about this, I should treat this with a little bit more respect? Of course not.
Right, so he goes on Howard Stern's show and talks about a 9/11 memorial, what should be built there, and here's what he had to say.
What Rudy said was there should be a huge memorial and it should contribute to the skyline of New York in the same way that the World Trade Center.
I'm starting to agree with that.
I don't know. Maybe we should build a television tower there. Maybe we should do something that would be, I don't know if you saw last week the television tower, which is substantially taller than the World Trade Center, but you don't have to occupy it.
Right.
Believe me, a statue of your girlfriend would be perfect right there.
Well, that would be a nice idea.
Well, nobody's going to fly into that, right?
No one would. No one would even mess with that.
That would be fly into that.
That would be a lesson for future generations.
Oh, that's so funny. Could you imagine if a Democratic politician went on and talked about September 11th a year afterwards, and was joking around about, hey, I got a hot girlfriend. It was girlfriend at the time, now wife. I got a hot girlfriend, maybe we build a statue of it. I mean, look, Howard brought up the joke. We all heard it right there, right? But he's going along with it like, oh yeah, maybe we should, man. Nobody would fly into that. 9/11's so funny. They would have been ridden out of town at Sept. This guy's a joke, man. It's a joke on the whole country. And he's the biggest joke on his own supporters who think that here's a guy who respects our armed forces or wants to make America great again.
I mean, think about why he allegedly goes after NFL players who kneel during the national anthem. Because he thinks that it disrespects our flag, it disrespects the country, disrespects our troops. Trump does that on a regular basis, but for some reason, there seems to be a double standard for Trump. He gets to do and say whatever he wants. Doesn't matter how disrespectful he is. He still, earns that support for his base or toward his base. It's insane. I don't understand it. But I don't know. What else are we going to expect from this? I'm bored. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, we get desensitized to what a monster he is.
Yeah, I'm super desensitized at this point. This is who he is. I mean, I don't need any more evidence of it. I already know. And what drives me crazy is not only has this been normalized, but his base doesn't care. They don't care. Rudy Giuliani, he used 9/11, he exploited it for his own advantage, for his own purposes. Our federal government at the time did the exact same thing to justify, starting wars in the Middle East. They never really cared about the lives that were lost during 9/11. They just didn't. They used it for a political advantage and nothing more.
And a couple of punchlines. That's what they actually think of 9/11. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.